Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's me, Irvin, with another retro anime first impression video. This one, guys, is not so retro. It is from 2011. Technically, I've been trying to do 2010 or younger, or older animes so that they are considered retro. This one's a little bit younger than that one. It's 9 years old, but it's still pretty much back in 9 years ago. I was starting college, so a lot of people probably have not heard of this one, or maybe it's the first time they hear more about it. Maybe you have seen it but haven't really heard about it. So this was going to be Anohana, the flower we saw that day. And give me a second, because this Japanese name is Anohimita Hana no Name wo Bokutachi wa Mada Shiranai. That is the Japanese name. Obviously, I think most people know it as Anohana, or Anohana, the flower we saw that day. Again, this one aired back in 2011. It has a pretty high rating, again, on my anime list. It's only 11 episodes, and I've watched most of the first episode, part of the second episode. Now, before I continue, a few things. If you have not done so by now, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. There will be a giveaway starting pretty soon. If not already, it will be starting soon. So make sure you join in to that giveaway. It is open for everyone who is subscribed. Secondly, guys, there will be more and more people joining the Discord, so make sure you join in as well and just enjoy the conversations there about anime and manga. Lastly, join me on TikTok and join me on Twitter. I am trying to grow TikTok as big as possible, get some anime influence there, and I'm really throwing a lot of recommendations as well there. So if you want more recommendations, then join me on TikTok. Anyways, guys, this one is definitely going to be a tearjerker. In fact, it already made me emotional in the first episode. We follow the story of this guy who he's basically being a hermit. It's so funny. I'm watching Welcome to the NHK, which is a comedy on someone who's basically distanced himself from society, and this is basically the same thing. There's a guy who has distanced himself from society, and part of it is because he thinks he's going a little insane, and that is because he's seeing this girl, Anohana, who died in his childhood. Now, through that, he is not really understanding why she's appearing to him, other than maybe he's going insane. But in fact, there is a second, or there is a motive to that, and eventually figure out that maybe there's something that he promised to her in her life that he needs to fulfill. So, he decides to, do something about it. And the reason that happens is because towards the middle of the episode, he finds out that Anohana is also kind of aging with him. She's not really the little girl that he remembers. Now, we kind of get some flashbacks throughout the first episode and the second episode, really, too, where essentially there were a group of kids, about, I would say 6 kids that would join together and had this little club. And one day, the kids made fun of the protagonist liking Anohana, and he kind of went like, "No, I don't like her. She's stupid. She's stinky." Little boy stuff. Most little boys don't want to know or let the girl know that he likes her, right? So, he ends up, I think, I'm not really sure actually. She looks fine, but obviously most of the time that's not the answer, and I think he did hurt her feelings, and he basically goes home thinking, you know what, I'm gonna apologize to her tomorrow, and tomorrow never shows up, at least not for Anohana. We don't get details, at least I don't know we did. I didn't really see any details, but Anohana died and kind of destroyed their group. Life happened. They went to middle school and they went to high school, and everyone kind of went their own ways. And I think this anime is really going to be based on them joining together and figuring out why what happened. Man, I really I really got really emotional in the first episode because obviously, I knew she was a spirit towards the beginning, but I kind of felt like she was. There's a lot of comedies or a lot of like lighthearted animes where spirits are just kind of fun. They're there because they're trying to help the the main character, I can't even say the word, main character to become what he needs to be, right? And obviously sometimes they do have sad stories behind them, but the fact that they connected her to the main character so well in the first episode, and it was an emotional first episode, man, it was good. I didn't tear up, I will say that, but it did bring me to a state of mind where I was like, man, things happen and that's horrible. And I've had people that I was friends with and I talked to and I was in classrooms with or whatever, that I remember back in elementary and in middle school, and now they're not here with us anymore. So it does take you back, and when an anime does that, it helps you personalize those feelings to your life. That's a good anime, and I do see why it is up there in the ratings. Now, I'll share the ratings for you guys, and there's just on 1 million, yes, 1 million people voting on this anime. It's an 8.46. Again, this is very hard because most animes, when people vote, the more people they vote, the lower it goes because some people are just jerks, right? They'll be extremely picky on music, on art, on colors, on sceneries, on everything, right? So for an anime to be an 8.46 and 1 million people voted on it, that's pretty impressive. It is number 53 on popularity and 107 ranked of all time in my anime list. Now, I'm excited to see how it turns out to be. I do see that there's going to be a kind of lighthearted feeling to it at one point where they're going to get together, I'm going to assume, and kind of reminisce what happened in the past. But through that, they're going to remember and find out, I think, or at least as a viewer, we'll find out how Anohana came to die and how Anohana came to really affect each individual that we're going to see in this anime. So, for now, I recommend it. It's an 8 out of 10. I think this one's on Netflix. I am watching it through my own DVDs. So, anyways, but I believe it is on Netflix, dubbed and subbed. So, go watch it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have not done so by now, make sure you subscribe, comment, like, and share, guys. And like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.